She is for the streets.
This is so disturbing.
What the fuck?
You should be tried in Hague.
Luke is disgusting.
That apology was written by AI.
GameboyLuke is a narcissist.
Luke's apology is denied forever.
Right now, if you go into the comment section of almost any GameboyLuke video, you're going to find something that wouldn't have been there a month ago. Hate. Real, sustained, personal hate. Not, I disagree with this take hate. The kind of hate that follows someone around, that shows up under unrelated videos, that turns a guy's name into a punchline. 3 weeks ago, if you mentioned GameboyLuke outside of the Pokemon YouTube space, most people wouldn't have known who you were talking about. Today, his name is one of the most talked about names in this entire community, and not for anything good. This is how it happened, and honestly, I don't think even he saw it coming. Before we get into what actually happened, I want you to understand who GameboyLuke was before all of this, because I think that context matters more than people give it credit for. Luke wasn't some random creator on the outskirts of the Pokemon community. He was right in the middle of it. He and RaidAway, Rich, had been friends for around 7 years. Not internet friends in the loose sense, but actual friends, the kind who collaborate constantly, who show up in each other's videos, who build entire series together. Their choose your starter format was one of the things people in this space looked forward to.
Sub right now to GameboyLuke or you will puke. You will puke. You will puke. You will puke.
There's a beat there somewhere.
That's crazy.
Wait. So if I did a bit of a... Wait, so...
You will puke. 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 You.
These two had nearly 180 million views between them, and just 7 days before everything blew up, they had uploaded yet another collab, like it was just another week. Nobody watching that video had any idea what was coming. Then on May 21st, everything changed. Rich posted something on X that on its own looked like it could have been about anyone. He said he'd just been told that his ex, Taylor, had cheated on him with someone named Luke on New Year's. He said they'd been broken up since January, and he'd only just found out 5 months later from someone else entirely. He called it actually unreal. And then, because people immediately started asking which Luke he meant, because let's be honest, there's more than one Luke in this community, he had to come back and clarify. He wasn't talking about some random person. He meant GameboyLuke, his friend of 7 years, his collab partner, the guy he'd just posted a video with a week earlier. I want you to sit with that for a second, because I think that's the moment where this stopped being just a breakup story and became something the entire community couldn't look away from. This wasn't a stranger. This was someone Rich trusted enough to build content with, to have in his home, to call a friend for years. And the betrayal, if it's true, and at this point it's been confirmed from both sides, didn't happen with some random person Taylor met after the breakup. It happened with Luke on New Year's, while they were apparently all still close. 2 days later, on May 23rd, Rich posted again, and this post hit different. This wasn't the shocked, I just found out energy from before. This was someone who had spent 2 days processing, and what came out the other side was raw. He thanked everyone for the support, but said that as time went on, he was finding out more information, and what he found wasn't just that the cheating happened, but that it had apparently continued for months while he was, in his words, destroyed, empty, and crying, trying to heal from the breakup. He said Luke and Taylor had been flirting behind his back that whole time, and then he said something that I think a lot of people latched onto because of how final it sounded. He called Luke and Taylor the two worst human beings I've ever met in my life. Think about how heavy that statement is, coming from someone who'd known Luke for 7 years. That's not the kind of thing you say about someone you've just met. That's the kind of thing you say when someone you trusted completely turns out to be someone you never actually knew at all. And then, on May 24th, Luke responded. And here's where I think things got even more complicated, because Luke didn't deny it. He confirmed it. He said he and Taylor had been involved, that he was sorry for disappointing everyone, and importantly, he said that he and Taylor hadn't slept together before the breakup. He talked about wanting to be transparent and said that Taylor was his ex too, and that they'd both had residual feelings for each other. He apologized directly to Rich, specifically for hiding it, for trying to stay close to him while hiding it, for continuing to film content and spend time with him the entire time this was going on underneath the surface. Now here's the detail that I think most people glossed over, but it's the one that actually got to me the most. Back in December, before any of this came out, there's a message from Luke to Rich, just a normal, friendly message, where Luke says something like, "Damn, house looks sick, can't wait for New Year's." That message exists. It's real. It's from December 9th, and we now know that whatever was happening between Luke and Taylor was either already happening or about to happen at that exact New Year's gathering. Luke was excitedly looking forward to. Read that message again with that knowledge, and it becomes something completely different. It stops being a friendly text and starts feeling like, I don't even know what the right word is. Foreshadowing feels too gentle. It's almost eerie, honestly, knowing what we know now. Once Luke's response went up, the floodgates opened, and not just from regular viewers. Other creators in this space started weighing in, and that's when this stopped being a Rich and Luke thing and became a full community event. Verlisify, who already had history with some of the bigger names in this space, jumped into the conversation, and a lot of people felt like he was using Rich's situation to settle older scores of his own, which only added more fuel. I already did a video on how Verlisify made the situation about himself. Watch it after this if you haven't. Other channels, smaller ones, started putting out their own breakdowns and reactions, with titles that didn't hold back, calling Luke out directly, calling the whole situation delusional, saying Luke had, in their words, fucked up. And I think what made this spread so fast wasn't just the drama itself, it was that this community is small enough and connected enough that almost everyone watching had some kind of personal stake in who they believed, who they were disappointed in, and who they felt sorry for. So where does that leave things right now? Because that's really the question, isn't it? It's been a few weeks. The initial wave of posts has slowed down, but if you actually go look, and I mean really look, not just skim the headlines, you can see the damage is still there, and honestly, still spreading. Comment sections under Luke's videos are filled with people bringing this up completely unprompted on videos that have nothing to do with any of this. People are referencing it in other creators' videos too. Almost like it's become a kind of shorthand now. You don't even have to explain what happened anymore. You just say GameboyLuke and people instantly know what you mean, and not in a good way. That's the part that I think is genuinely hard to undo. It's not one bad video. It's not one bad week. It's that his name itself has become attached to the story, and names are sticky. Once that happens, it doesn't matter how many other things you've done. This is the thing people think of first. And look, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I have some neutral, perfectly balanced take on all of this, because I don't think that's actually possible, and honestly, I don't think it's even what this moment calls for. What happened to Rich is genuinely awful. Finding out 5 months after a breakup that the person you'd been broken up with had been involved with one of your closest friends, that's the kind of thing that doesn't just hurt. It rewrites your memory of years of your life. Every video, every hangout, every can't wait for New Year's message suddenly means something different. That's a real kind of grief, and I don't think people give that enough weight. But here's the thing I keep coming back to, the thing that I think is actually bigger than just Rich and Luke. This community, the Pokemon YouTube space, runs almost entirely on relationships. These creators aren't just co-workers who happen to occupy the same niche. They're friends in real life who build entire formats and series around that friendship. Choose Your Starter wasn't just a video format. It was Rich and Luke, specifically, doing something together that worked because of who they were to each other. And when something like this happens, it doesn't just break one friendship. It makes everyone watching start to wonder about every other friendship in this space. Who else is putting on a performance? Who else is smiling in a collab while something is happening underneath? I don't think that's a healthy place for any community to be, honestly. And I don't say that to defend Luke. What he did, by his own admission, was a real betrayal, and he's going to be living with the consequences of that for a long time, maybe permanently. But I also don't think pure, sustained hatred is actually, I don't know, productive, satisfying in the long run. People love the phrase satisfying downfall, and I get why. There's something that feels like justice in watching someone face consequences for hurting a friend like that. But I think it's worth asking yourself honestly what you actually want to happen here. Do you want Luke to disappear completely? Do you want him to spend years being defined by one terrible decision he made in his early 20s? Or is the satisfying part really just watching someone be held accountable, finally, after getting away with something for months? Because those are two very different things, and I think a lot of us, myself included, sometimes blur them together without realizing it. What I do know is this story isn't over. Rich is still processing something that's genuinely painful, and he deserves space for that. Luke has to live with what he did and with how publicly he had to admit it, and this entire community is going to be a little different now, whether anyone wants it to be or not, because something like this doesn't just fade quietly. If something new comes out, and based on how this has gone so far, I wouldn't be surprised if it does. I'll be here to break it down with you, the same way I always try to. Honestly, no matter what side of this you land on, I think the only thing we can all agree on is that nobody expected a choose your starter video from 1 week earlier to be the last normal thing these two ever did together.